In the world of selling, there's a difference between order makers and order takers. Too many salespeople are order takers. They turn up, they talk about their product, and if the customer is in a good mood, and if the planets have lined up, they're talking about a product the customer needs at the right time to buy it, and they take the customer's order. Or they're responding to the customer's invitation to come sell to them. The customer's already inclined to buy, and it just comes down to who does the best job on the day. The world is full of order takers, but an order maker takes an entirely different approach. They're more in charge of creating business, and the way that they do this is by asking questions to the customer that dig out that there is a gap between where the customer is today and where they ideally want to be. Now, implicit in this is that the salesperson understands enough about that customer's type of business and how it runs, how it operates, what it produces, the challenges that it has in creating that output, so that they can talk using the customer's jargon. Now, most salespeople sell in the same vertical space. They sell in the same region. They sell to customers that are similar to the ones that they're calling on today. They've done it in the past, and they understand those customers' issues. So take what you know from past customer sales into the same vertical industry and use that language and those challenges. Chances are that a great many number of those will be relevant to new customers that you're talking to in the same space. And so being able to talk about their current state, being informed by previous sales and previous exposure to other customers, allows you to talk in their language. So for example, salespeople who are order makers ask the customer, so how are you doing today in terms of certain topics that they know are relevant for that customer? And ideally, where would you like to be? Because we see that the market leader has been creating new offices. We see that the market leader or others in your industry have been releasing more new products this year than what you have been. We see that other companies in this town have been employing more staff. Whatever it is that you could use as a benchmark to suggest to the customer that maybe there's room for improvement. Or if you've identified by reading customer research on their account that some of their executives have been talking about where they want to take the business, and this is going to require change, you could talk to them about that as being a desired state. So it's useful to understand from the customer, where are they today, and ideally where would they like to be? But rather than talking about a nebulous, where'd you like to be in 5 years, make it very specific. Where would you like to be in terms of the quality of output, the number of products that you're releasing, the number of people that you're employing, the number of sites that you're working on, the quality of customer care that you're renowned as putting into the marketplace, the number of customer testimonials that you're getting as a business. What's important to them? They're the things that you really need to be talking about here, because there you'll find that they do have some vision. They do have some aspiration to improve their business. Once you've established that there is a difference between where they'd ideally like to be and where they are today, that's what we call in the trade a gap. Other people call it a need. And when you have identified that there is a need, when you've identified that there's a need, then you can sell to that need. And all of your sales effort then comes into context. It's something the customer now says, this person is bringing me a solution. They're not just trying to pitch me something. This is how you make orders rather than just take orders. So some good dialogue to use is, okay, so based on where you are today, what would you like it to look like? How does that affect you and your department? How does that affect you personally? Why would that be of use to you? Why is that of value to you? Try and dig this out in your questioning. How important are those changes for you to make? And how quickly would you like to see them made? This starts to give you an idea of the temperature of the sale. How hot is it? How important is this change for the customer? Or is it something that they could take it or leave it? You need to understand this before you start selling them something, right? Another great question to ask here is, well, if that's where you'd like to be compared to where you are today, what's stopping you from achieving that already? Have you tried it in the past? and not been successful? Is it something where the timing hasn't been right until now? You know? So if there's where you are today and where you'd like to be, why aren't you achieving that already? Can I ask that? It's a very simple question to ask. And then you sit back and you listen to what the customer tells you. They might say, well, it hasn't been important to us in the past, but now things are changing. Really? What things in particular are changing, you might ask. And you allow the customer to inform you more about their world. And as they're telling you about their world, you're starting to see what their hot buttons are. What's really important to them? What are some of the challenges that they've been struggling with? What are the breakthroughs that they're looking for? The key thing here is that order makers create their own luck. They make their own sales. And they do it by digging out that there is a gap that the customer perceives between today and the future, between where they're performing and where they'd like to be performing. That gap is the fuel that they use for their sale. And they put that fuel into their sales engine, and that's what they're taking forward to the finish line. If you don't know what the gap is for the customer, how can you possibly bring them a solution? All they'll see you as is a peddler trying to push your wares on them, and it won't mean anything to them. But if they see that you understand where they're trying to get to, and you've taken the time to dig out of them why this is important for them, they'll see you as a solution provider who is providing a stepping stone from their current state to their desired future state.